FX Morning Mayhem podcast is an essential listen for currency traders. Each episode covers a curated watch list of key currency pairs alongside insightful market observations. It highlights crucial daily news events that could influence the market, ensuring traders are well informed. Additionally, the podcast offers valuable trading strategy tips, catering to both new and experienced traders in the Forex market. This podcast is for educational purposes only. None of this info should be construed as investment advice. To see the trades called out live for free on our Slack channel, click the link in the description or scan the QR code to join the trade faction. If you find this podcast valuable, please follow and share with a friend. And now, on with the show.
Day 4 of the volatility crisis. Like, nothing is moving. It's so weird. It's almost as if the market is waiting for something to happen. But you will see as I go through these instruments, there just is nothing going on. So here is the Aussie-New Zealand dollar. We're in a very small uptrend. The magnitude or amplitude is only 6.25. So that's barely alive. We are in a long wave phase, so whenever it sets up, we are going to be looking for a long sweet spot. But right now, there's nothing going on there. Aussie US dollar is in the zone. There's a couple that have potential today. This one is one of them. In the zone, long uptrend, a long phase, looking for a long. We're still well within range here. We're not hyperextended or anything. So if anything sets up, this one might. Euro-CAD, here's another one, same thing. Long wave, phase, trend is up in the zone, waiting for a sweet spot. Pound CAD, hyperextended, so we're not going to worry about that, but that is in a downtrend right now. New Zealand US dollar in the zone, looking for a long, waiting for a sweet spot. Singapore dollar, Swiss franc, trending up, long wave phase, looking for a long in the zone. So that one potentially could have something to do. US dollar, Canadian dollar, barely positive here, so nothing to do. Swiss franc, this is actually in the zone. This one is also looks decent. So I'm going to mark the ones that look decent. So that one looks good. That one, what I'm looking for is a in the zone with a low amplitude number. So that's no good. That one's already kind of at the top of the heap. I'm going to skip that one and that one. So, all right. So those 4 instruments are the ones that have the most potential to do something today. So we'll see if I'm right. Hopefully we'll get a signal. So it's really weird not having any signals. So anyway,
is it running?
Oh, I already checked. I triple checked.
I figured you would.
I went in and like, did I screw something up when I was changing those labels and stuff? And I stumbled upon, they've added something really nice in the coding. It's another free ad for TradingView, guys, if you're listening. They've added a very GitHub-like code repository thing. So it's kind of a combination of GitHub and Apple's Time Machine.
Really?
Yeah, so I can go back to different dates and at different times and see the version of the code, what the version of the code was back then. So I just looked at it and said, well, when was the last time I changed it? And I think it was like the 16th, 17th, like that. So I went back to before that time, and then I just modified the label so you could see it bigger. So we'll see if that makes any kind of difference. But I've been watching it. I know what it's going to take to set up, and it hasn't been hitting those numbers. Like the amplitude numbers have been way too low, or when those are high, the trend is going in the wrong direction. So it's really just kind of been sort of like price has been doing this, right?
Yeah.
right? It's not, it's kind of like flatlining. And every once in a while it gets a spike, but then it'll come back down in a flat line again. And that's what it's been doing, and that's why nothing's going off.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you.
We'll see. Anyway, news today. There's really
Nothing.
nothing. 9:15, ugly ladies talking for the European Union, and that's about it. So that brings us to the market insight section. Do you know who Ross Albrook is?
The guy that Trump pardoned. He's some sort of libertarian, but he got caught for something.
Yeah, so he ran something called Silk Road, which was allegedly on the dark web, a marketplace, facilitated the sale of drugs and goods. All the transactions were done in Bitcoin. That's why it caught my attention. This was one of the early Bitcoiner entrepreneur, but sort of. But he got convicted and they gave him a whole bunch of charges: drug distribution, running a criminal enterprise, conspiracy to commit hacking, money laundering. The thing that is the weirdest about this is that the sentence was so severe. He got 2 life terms plus 40 years for the. He must have pissed somebody off.
Yeah, you got to piss a lot of people off for that.
I think it's just when people figure out a way to get around the system and make money, that pisses off the people that want to take all your money. So I think they wanted to make an example of him. But hey, he's a free man now. He was in there for 11 years, which kind of sucks. But he's not anymore because of good old Donald. That was interesting. There's not a whole lot of interesting market news because the market's doing like freaking nothing. The other thing is, I know it's not me because the two guys that I watch pretty close, neither one of them has had a signal since the middle of last week.
Hmm.
So it's definitely the market which is creeping me out a little bit. So we'll see. Hang on to your hats
Yeah, tell me about it.
and just keep an eye on what's going on there and we'll see what happens, okay?
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got.